Two Australians, one after the other. How fun is that? Three and one more, of course. Thanks for having me here today. What I'd like to talk to you about is real estate search on the blockchain. Not a property portal, not a Zillow, completely different model. Whoops. Whoops, hang on. There we go. Sorry about that. Now, as a whole, the real estate asset globally is $217 trillion. All the real estate in the world is worth 217 trillion. In the US, it's nearly 30 trillion. I think it's actually a little bit more than that this year. 30 trillion worth of real estate in the US. $1.7 trillion is sold every year, and it equates to about 5 million homes in the US alone. So, to market this property online, it actually takes about 77% of the marketing budget for a property. And that is about $10 billion every year to, every year in the US, $10 billion to sell property. So, what's a property portal? These guys are the guys that are currently and have been taking most of that $10 billion in the US. Okay, so we have Zillow, Redfin, and Realtor.com. They're the main guys. Of course, there's others. There's plenty more in the US, but these are the main guys. And if you can notice one thing, they all look the same. They're all looking exactly the same, and they have since the 90s. Now, Zillow and Realtor and Redfin, they're in the US. There are others around the world, right? Every country has a number one, number two, number three. Viva Real in Brazil, Juwai in China, realestate.com.au and Domain in Australia are the number one and twos. Now, I'm going to use the Australian market here because it is and it was the first main big multi-billion dollar real estate platform. Now, to list the property, one property for 30 days in Australia, a realtor will pay about $2,500. Now, there are cheaper ones for that, but mostly $2,500, right? If you have 10 of them for 1 month, 25 grand is going to realestate.com.au or Domain in Australia. And that's just not in Australia, that's around the world. So why am I showing you this graph? In 2014, Rupert Murdoch's News Corp bought, which was known News Limited, bought or acquired for $950 million the ownership or the rights to Realtor.com. He didn't buy the asset, he just bought the rights to it. What came with that? The company, that owns that is called Move Inc. Okay, Move also, very clever of what they did, ownership of ListHub. And ListHub pretty much is the MLS. Well, they control the syndication to the MLS. About 80% of all the agents in the US. So, this is the one thing they're missing. The consumer mindset's changed. No one is searching that way anymore. Number one, buyer inquiry, and this information is from the National Association of Realtors, the NAR. 37% of buyer inquiry comes from social media. Facebook, of course, number one. Property portals make up 25%. 25% of all buyer inquiry comes from property portals. Now, I just told you that they're taking $10 billion a year for 25%. So what's it going to do about it? Well, we're going to break it. Our no portal model is everything other than the portals. We're not talking about listing with a blockchain on Zillow or Twitter, Zillow or Realtor or any of those globally, right? We're talking about a no portal model that accesses the consumers on social and search in the natural online environment, right? That's crucial. We have a block explorer that we use to access, that also accompanies our integrations into social. So we integrate into, say, like Facebook's got their new marketplace with real estate, that type of thing. We have our block explorer goes on top of that, or beside that, I should say. It is a social media driven block explorer, right? Looks a little bit like this. It is a mashup of LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook with a little bit more. So of course, we have on the top is our really cool search bar. We don't care if you're looking for a suburb. I mean, we do care. We don't narrow down if you're looking for a property in San Antonio, Texas. If you're looking for a house and you want to buy in Texas, but it has to have 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, but then also it needs to have a tennis court and a ranch, we can find that. And you can find that quite easily using a block explorer, specifically with the social media part. And of course, right in the middle are the property updates. And the way it works is because the blockchain's immutable, the data's never changed. So every time a new property comes through, it will have a price change or a real estate change, and you can search that, and that is crucial. Now, the way we capture the information is we curate it. So realtors either send it to us directly, they enter it directly, or we provide the realtor a dashboard, a console, a way that they can access and find out how well they're doing with their product, with their listing. So what is really the difference between a property portal and a block explorer? Well, fundamentally, they're completely opposite. Property portal and destination of listings that are updated regularly, one after the other. They're overwritten. You'll never find out historical data. A block explorer, of course, you can find out all that information, one after the other. And it's transparent. Now, we have a really high caliber team. A little bit about me. I've got 2 minutes to go. Former head of technology for the largest franchise group in Australia. Former chief information officer for the Australian Property Institute, which is the actual governing body for property in Australia. Managing editor of the Australian New Zealand Property Journal, which is a property scientific magazine. CEO for Classified Website Builder, which builds applications like Zillow, Twitter. We build them globally, that's what I used to do. And I'm the former CEO of a real estate data company that managed 400 million real estate transactions each month, from the realtor to the property portal. So we know our stuff, we've got some awesome people, we have government involvement, we have advisors from the government advising us on the way we can do things and move forward. And of course, the real estate token, 100 million tokens, Ethereum-based. We use 80,000 for the ICO, 15,000 are reserved for the company for future investments, and 5 million for the token sale. Of course, we're ASIC in Australia. ASIC is like SEC here, and we're also working with our solicitors here, or lawyers here, for the asset regulations. So we are a securities token, we're not a utilities token, and we're listing on exchanges. So why Propify? No portal marketing, our content's certified, and most important thing, we're global. We're not regional. Property portals today are regional. They're independent of each other. You can't find the property you want to buy. You can't find that investment property in France that you might be interested in buying. And of course, Elon Musk, Tesla on top. So there we go. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I rushed at the end. I'm sorry I'm out of breath. But appreciate your time. Thank you.